Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Hannah.
And I'm James. It's great to have you with us today.
Today, we are talking about something really important for English learners. We're going to explore how to talk about the past in English.
That's right, and this is such a useful topic because we talk about the past every single day, don't we?
Absolutely. When you meet a friend, you might talk about what you did yesterday. When you were at work, you might explain what happened in a meeting. When you're with family, you share memories from years ago.
Exactly. The past is everywhere in our conversations, so learning to talk about it clearly and correctly is really valuable.
And that's what we want to help you with today. We are going to look at the main ideas from this conversation practice session, and we'll make sure everything is clear and easy to understand.
We will focus on the most important points, the ones that will really help you improve your speaking and listening.
Perfect. So let's begin with the core ideas.
The first main idea is that English has different ways to talk about the past, and each way has a purpose.
That's true. We don't just have one past form, we have several, and they help us be more specific about when something happened.
For example, if you want to talk about something you did yesterday, you use the simple past. You might say, I went to the shop yesterday.
Right. The simple past is for actions that finished in the past. They started, they happened, and they ended. They're complete.
So if I say I visited my grandmother last weekend, that action is finished. The weekend is over, the visit is over.
Exactly. And this is the most common way we talk about the past in everyday English. It's direct and clear.
Another important idea is that we often use time words to show when something happened in the past.
Yes, time words are very helpful. They give context. They tell the listener exactly when the action took place.
Words like yesterday, last week, 2 days ago, in 2020, or when I was a child, these all point to a specific time in the past.
And when you use these time words, it makes your meaning much clearer. For instance, I watched a film is okay, but I watched a film last night gives more information.
It does. It helps the listener understand the situation better. They know it was recent, it was last night specifically.
Exactly. So using time words is a really good habit to develop when you're speaking English.
Now, another core idea is that the past is often used to tell stories.
Oh, yes. Stories are such a big part of how we use the past. When we tell a story, we describe events that already happened.
Right. You might tell a friend about your holiday. You describe where you went, what you saw, who you met, and what you ate.
Or you might tell your colleague about a problem you had with your computer. You explain what happened step by step.
And all of these are stories, they're narratives. They help other people understand your experience.
And when you tell a story in English, you usually use the simple past for the main events. For example, I arrived at the airport, I checked in, I waited for my flight.
Each action follows the other. It's like a sequence. First this, then that, then the next thing.
Exactly. And this is how we naturally organize information about the past. We put events in order.
Another idea that's really important is that we use the past to talk about habits or routines that we had before, but we don't have now.
That's right. Things that were true in the past, but they're not true anymore.
For example, when I was young, I played football every Saturday. This tells us it was a habit. It happened regularly in the past.
But the sentence also suggests that you don't do it now. It's finished. It's part of your past, not your present.
Exactly. And we do this all the time in conversation. We compare our past with our present.
Yes, someone might say, I lived in London for 5 years. This means they don't live there now. It's a past situation.
Or I worked in a restaurant when I was a student. Again, it's finished. It's not happening now.
So the past helps us show change. It helps us explain how our lives are different now compared to before.
That's a really good point, Hannah. The past is about contrast. It shows what was so we can understand what is.
Now, let's move to some key takeaways. These are the practical lessons that you can use straight away.
The first takeaway is this. When you want to talk about a finished action, use the simple past.
Yes, don't overcomplicate it. If the action is done, finished, complete, the simple past is your friend.
For example, I ate breakfast this morning. Breakfast is finished. You are not eating it now. So, simple past.
Or, she called me an hour ago. The phone call happened. It ended. Simple past.
And the good news is that this structure is very common. Once you learn it, you can use it in so many situations.
Another takeaway is to always think about time. Ask yourself, when did this happen?
Yes, time is the key to choosing the right form. If you know when something happened, you can express it clearly.
And if you're not sure about the time, you can still use the simple past, but adding a time word makes everything clearer.
For instance, instead of saying, I saw that film, you could say, I saw that film last month. Much better.
Exactly. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference in communication.
The next takeaway is about practice. To get comfortable with the past, you need to use it regularly.
That's so true. You can read about grammar rules, but the real learning happens when you speak and write.
So try to tell stories from your day. Talk about what you did yesterday. Describe a trip you took. Share a memory.
And when you do this, you're training your brain. You're building confidence with the past forms.
Yes, the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You stop thinking about the rules and you just speak.
And that's the goal, isn't it? To speak naturally and comfortably.
Absolutely. Another takeaway is to listen carefully to how native speakers use the past.
This is such good advice. When you listen to podcasts, watch films, or have conversations, pay attention to the past forms.
Notice how people talk about yesterday, last week, or years ago. Notice the verbs they use.
And you will start to see patterns. You'll hear the same structures again and again.
For example, you'll often hear people say things like, I went to the supermarket, or we had a great time, or they arrived late.
These are simple, common sentences, and the more you hear them, the more familiar they become.
So listening is a form of learning. It's not just about speaking, it's about absorbing the language.
Now, let's talk a bit about the language itself. What kind of vocabulary is useful when we talk about the past?
Well, as we mentioned, time words are essential. Words like yesterday, today, last night, last year, ago, when, before.
These words help you place events in time. They're like signposts in your sentences.
Yes, and they're not difficult words. They're everyday vocabulary that you can learn quickly.
Another type of useful vocabulary is action verbs. These are the verbs that describe what you did.
Right. Verbs like went, saw, ate, drank, met, visited, bought, made, took, and gave.
These are all very common in past conversations, and many of them are irregular, which means they don't follow the regular pattern.
That's true. Regular verbs just add ed at the end, like walked or talked, but irregular verbs change completely.
For example, go becomes went, see becomes saw, eat becomes ate.
So it's a good idea to learn these irregular forms. They come up all the time.
Yes, and don't worry if it feels like a lot at first. You don't need to learn everything at once.
Exactly. Start with the most common verbs, the ones you use every day, then build from there.
And as you practice, you will remember them more easily. Your brain will store them naturally.
Another part of the language to think about is how we ask questions about the past.
Oh yes, questions are just as important as statements. When you are having a conversation, you ask and you answer.
So you might hear questions like, what did you do yesterday? Or where did you go last weekend?
Notice the structure. We use did plus the base form of the verb. Did you see the match? Did she call you?
This is the standard way to ask past questions in English. It's simple and consistent.
And when you answer, you use the past form. Yes, I saw it. No, she didn't call me.
So learning to ask and answer questions about the past is a really important skill.
It helps you have real conversations. It makes you an active participant, not just a listener.
Now, let's think about some everyday situations where you use the past.
Good idea, because it's helpful to see the past in context, in real life.
So imagine you are at work. A colleague asks, "How was your weekend?"
You might say, "It was great. I went to the park with my family. We had a picnic. The weather was beautiful."
All of those sentences are in the past. You're describing events that happened over the weekend.
Or imagine you're at a cafe with a friend. They ask, "Did you watch the new series on TV?"
You could say, "Yes, I watched it last week. I really enjoyed it."
Again, the past. You're talking about something you did before this conversation.
Or think about a doctor's appointment. The doctor might ask, "When did the pain start?"
And you answer, "It started 3 days ago."
All of these are everyday situations, and they all require you to use the past.
So you can see how important it is. It's not just grammar for exams, it's grammar for life.
Exactly. And the more you practice in these real situations, the more confident you will become.
Now, one thing that can help you is to keep a simple journal in English.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Writing about your day is excellent practice.
Yes, at the end of each day, write a few sentences about what you did. Nothing complicated, just simple sentences.
For example, today I woke up at 7 o'clock. I had breakfast. I went to work. I met my friend for lunch. I came home and watched TV.
Perfect. Those sentences use the past, and by writing them every day, you're reinforcing the patterns.
And it doesn't take long. 5 minutes a day is enough.
But the benefits are huge. You're practicing writing, you're practicing the past, and you're building a habit.
Plus, after a few weeks, you can read back through your journal. You'll see your progress.
Yes, you'll notice that the sentences come more easily. You'll make fewer mistakes.
And that's really motivating. It shows you that you are improving.
Another useful tip is to talk to yourself in English, especially about the past.
That might sound a bit strange, but it actually works really well.
It does. When you're walking, cooking, or doing something simple, you can describe what you did earlier.
For example, this morning, I made coffee. I checked my emails. I spoke to my manager.
It's like a mental exercise. You're training your brain to think in English and to use the past naturally.
And because you're doing it alone, there's no pressure. You can make mistakes and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's a safe space to practice. And over time, it makes speaking with other people much easier.
Now, let's talk about mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes when they are learning.
That's so true. Mistakes are completely normal. They're part of the process.
The important thing is not to be afraid of them. Don't let mistakes stop you from speaking.
Right. If you say something incorrectly, it's okay. People will usually understand you anyway.
And often you can correct yourself, or someone might gently correct you, and that's how you learn.
Exactly. Every mistake is a chance to improve. It's feedback.
So don't aim for perfection, aim for progress, aim for communication.
Yes, the goal is to express yourself clearly, not to be perfect.
And honestly, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Language is flexible. It's about meaning, not just rules.
That's a really important point, James. Communication is the priority.
Now, as we come towards the end, let's think about why talking about the past is so valuable for English learners.
Well, first of all, it opens up so many more conversations.
Yes, if you can only talk about the present, your conversations are very limited.
But when you can talk about the past, you can share experiences, you can tell stories, you can connect with people.
Exactly. You can talk about your childhood, your education, your travels, and your work history.
All of these topics require the past, and they're topics that people love to discuss.
So learning the past makes you a better conversationalist. It makes you more interesting to talk to.
And it also helps you understand others. When people talk about their past, you can follow the conversation.
Yes, you can ask questions. You can respond appropriately. You're fully engaged.
Another reason the past is valuable is that it helps you in professional situations.
That's true. In job interviews, for example, you need to talk about your experience.
You might say, "I worked as a teacher for 3 years. I managed a team of 5 people. I completed several important projects.
All past forms, and expressing this clearly and confidently is really important.
Absolutely. It can make a big difference in how you're perceived.
The past is also important for academic English. If you are studying, you'll need to describe research, talk about historical events, or discuss what you learned.
Yes, and in writing essays or reports, the past is used all the time.
So it's not just conversational English, it's academic and professional English too.
That's why it's such a fundamental part of the language.
Now, before we finish, let's think about the feeling you want to have when you talk about the past.
The feeling should be confidence. You want to feel sure of what you're saying.
And that confidence comes from practice and familiarity. The more you use the past, the more comfortable it becomes.
Yes. At first, you might need to think carefully about the verb forms. You might pause or hesitate.
But over time, it becomes automatic. You don't think about the rules, you just speak.
And that's when you know you've really learned it, when it feels natural.
So keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and remember that every conversation is progress.
Now, let's bring everything together. What have we talked about today?
We've talked about how English uses the past to describe finished actions, to tell stories, and to show change.
We have looked at the importance of time words and how they make your meaning clearer.
We have discussed the value of practice, of listening, of writing, and of speaking.
And we've encouraged you to use the past in everyday situations to build confidence and fluency.
We've also reminded you that mistakes are normal and that communication is more important than perfection.
So the past is not something to be afraid of. It's a tool. It's a way to express yourself.
And the more you use it, the more powerful that tool becomes.
Exactly. So our message to you today is simple. Practice talking about the past. Use it every day.
Talk about what you did yesterday. Talk about your last holiday. Talk about your first day at school.
Share your memories. Tell your stories. Connect with people through your experiences.
And as you do this, you'll notice something wonderful. Your English will improve naturally.
You'll feel more confident. You will understand more. You'll enjoy conversations more.
And that's what language learning is all about. It's about opening doors.
The past is one of those doors, and today we have helped you open it a little wider.
So step through, start using what you've learned, and enjoy the journey.
Thank you so much for listening to Amiir Talk today. We really hope the summary has been helpful.
If you found it useful, please come back and listen to more episodes. We are here to support your English learning.
And remember, every step you take is progress. Be proud of yourself.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Goodbye, and good luck with your English.